Hey everybody, welcome to Ravencraft Magic. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of the strongest natural forces of the earth, tornadoes. I felt it was necessary to make a video about this. It is tornado season in my area. I live in southern Wisconsin. And I feel like this season is going to be a very powerful season for tornadoes. So ever since I was a young kid, I've always been attracted and amazed by tornadoes, and especially when that movie in 1996, Twister, came out.
Come on, take her!
It's too light.
No, it's not!
We're losing it.
No, we're not! She can still fly!
Just seeing that clip makes me want to go back and watch the whole movie. But anyway, the clips and shots from that movie were mostly filmed in Oklahoma and Iowa. This map kind of shows the tornado risk area, kind of the common area where tornadoes form. I live in Wisconsin, so I'm kind of just north of the really bad areas. I found a little clip here explaining a few facts about tornadoes and how they form.
Tornadoes occur on every continent, except Antarctica, but more form over the central United States than anywhere else, in a zone called Tornado Alley. That's because conditions in the alley are ideal for creating tornadoes. Warm, humid air, low to the ground, moves north from the Gulf of Mexico and collides with cool, dry air high above the ground rolling in from the Rocky Mountains. The collision of air masses creates a supercell, a massive thunderstorm that has a strong, rotating updraft of air. Scientists aren't exactly sure what happens next, but the leading idea goes like this. The difference in speed between the faster high winds and the slower low winds causes the air in between to rotate around a horizontal axis. If one end of the rolling air gets caught in the updraft, it's bent upward and forms a funnel cloud. Its spin gets tighter and faster, and the cloud gets longer. Rain or hail from the thunderstorm can then push down on the tail of the funnel cloud till it reaches the ground, forming a tornado. The top wind speed of most tornadoes is usually under 110 miles an hour, and most are on the ground for less than 10 minutes. However, extreme tornadoes are truly extreme.
Yes, extreme tornadoes. This is why I'm making this video. I wanted to talk to you guys about the biggest tornado in U.S. history. It was called the Tri-State Tornado. It hit in March 18th of 1925. So you got to think, they didn't really have any technology or weather machines like we do now back in 1925. They didn't even have a machine to calculate how big this tornado was. Obviously it was an F5. It ran a path through 3 different states: Iowa, Indiana, and Missouri, and it has the longest duration on record at 3.5 hours long. It traveled about 219 miles, killed over 700 people. Tornadoes are deadly forces of nature that can just arise out of nowhere. Another interesting fact I wanted to let you guys know is the deadliest tornado in the world. This was recorded in Bangladesh on April 26, 1989, which is said to have killed approximately 1,300 people. And if you think one tornado is bad, think about 2. Here's a clip in Nebraska of 2 twin tornadoes.
Snap a couple pictures and then move on.
This was not a splitting supercell or a parent tornado and orbiting satellite. This was a freak of nature. 2 almost identical cyclonic tornadoes born from one storm. Twins carving a parallel path of destruction. The eastern twin was now growing and intensifying, while the firstborn to the west appeared to wither away.
It is 4:22, and Big Daddy. All right, we're gonna make a northern turn right into it. We got another.
They got got these vehicles called Tornado Intercept vehicles. They're armored, got a whole bunch of technology and reinforcements to hold them into the ground. These guys get paid to drive around in these things and get as close as they can to tornadoes and see if we can get readings on them. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the most extensive tornado outbreak recorded in U.S. history. It was called the Super Outbreak back in 1974. There was 148 tornadoes formed within 18 hours. 7 of them, which were F5s, and about 23 were F4s. But later on in 2011 of April, the most prolific tornado outbreak, there was 355 tornadoes in 1 month. So these things can arise anywhere. They can multiply. They're very damaging, and they can do damage very quickly. I just want everyone to be aware of them. It's tornado season. Just don't mess around with these things. Get to safety, unless you feel brave enough to get a picture or some video of it. But for now, I'll just leave you with a few pretty cool clips of tornadoes. Have a good day.
Severe thunderstorm watch number 92 covered portions of the Ohio Valley. It was issued just before 9:30 in the morning. The deadliest tornado that day would develop about 7 hours later. Xenia, Ohio lies just east of Dayton and about 60 miles north of Cincinnati. 40 years ago, they had the unfortunate luck of seeing an F5 tornado, the biggest and baddest on the Fujita scale, rip through the heart of their downtown. This massive storm touched down shortly after 4:30 in the afternoon, traveling more than 31 miles. It left destruction in its wake, damaging half the buildings in Xenia, 9 churches, and 7 out of the 12 schools were destroyed, including the high school, which was leveled. Luckily enough, school had let out about an hour before that. Otherwise, it could have been a lot worse. The tornado blew the roof and windows from the courthouse. A nearby train saw 7 of its cars blown off the tracks. All said and done, more than $100 million in damage was done. More than 30 people died from this single tornado, and well over 1,000 were injured. Ask anyone in the community who was around. They'll tell you it was a frightening day that they'll never forget. For Storm Shield, I'm meteorologist Jason Myers.
That is ugly, ugly tornado. Jesus. There it goes. Look at that. Jesus. Man. Holy cow. Alright, this is going to get really ugly really fast here.